found this out the hard way, which is I was in New York, I think, a year or two ago, and it was right around Christmas, and I think it was like -10 or -20 degrees Celsius, and I had just bought my first pair of ripped jeans, right? So
I
I
love where
like
the
that
story
little
is
touch.
going.
I like
I love it.
so my parents they made everyone wear one or two inners, layers, just layer on top of layer, right? And we just arrived in New York. We were in the car the whole time, so I didn't really wear inners, and the car had heaters, obviously. So it was well heated. I really couldn't tell how cold it was. And there was a little bit of snow as well. So we got to our destination, which was my nanu's house, and my parents decided to stay over there for the night because it was already I think 11 p.m. But I arrived in New York. I want to go out and look at everything, because it's a busy city, Rasgurbala, Times Square and everything. So I was with my mama, and I told him, let's go out, let's look at the city, and we'll stay over at your place. So my mom said, "It's fine, uh, go ahead." We went out, and I'm wearing ripped jeans. I haven't changed, so no inners, no nothing. But on top, I have like 5 or 6 layers along with my jackets and everything. It felt fine throughout the whole car ride. It had heaters everywhere. And then we get to Times Square, and as soon as I open the door, I swear, uh, I lost feeling in all of my legs. I couldn't feel my legs. The next question I want to ask for the next segment is what are some skills that you wish that you had, or things that you wish you knew before going off abroad and starting university?
Who wants to go
wish I knew how to
first?
cook, dude. Legit.
I
I
can
wish I
second
knew
Khichuri.
that.
I knew how to. I wish I knew how to make khichuri and goru mangso
Bro,
and
that's
begun bharta.
facts. That's
Yeah,
facts.
that is
Preach to the
practical
choir,
shit.
brother.
To me, anyone who's going before going to Bidesh, man, learn your favorite Bengali dish and cha and learn cha. Cha is
Learn ja.
like একটা জিনিস চা বানাইতে শিখো খিচুড়ি বানাইতে শিখো আর বিরিয়ানি বানাইতে শিখো এটা থেকে বেশি কাজে like কিছু লাগবে না because there will be times when you feel very homesick. I have been in those times where I think সপ্তাহ পর সপ্তাহ গেছে and I just felt like something's not right. And then luckily আমার এখানে relatives থাকে and আমি ওদের বাসায় যেতাম ভাত দিয়ে গরুর মাংস খাইতাম chill করে কিছুক্ষণ আড্ডা মারতাম and it's all good. Your heart is warm, you feel
Oh, bro.
amazing. So
Love
you
that.
need that. The home vibes, they will always be there. তুমি যে জায়গায় যাও না কেন দুনিয়ায়. So take some of that with you. That's practical advice 101. Anything else you guys add on?
You gotta know how to shop for groceries too, right?
Yeah, man.
ওগুলো হয়ে যায়, ওগুলো কিছু না।
ওইগুলাই তুই গ্রোসারিতে তুই ঢুকবি and then এক একটা জিনিস উঠাবি. There's nothing learned there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
one thing
Slapping
though, if you
watermelons
guys
and stuff like that, it's like you
slapping
pick them up.
watermelon. I'm just pulling in the meme content there, man. So, one other thing I would say is this is something I wish I had done. Um, like I have the opportunity to do it still, but if I already knew it, it'd be cool. Like learning an instrument. If you guys, any of you are interested in music, man, really go for it. Like it really helps when you're in uni if you know how to learn an instrument. The reasons for that I will not go into. This is the family friendly
Adib, I
podcast.
was gonna do a commentary, but I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it.
Family friendly.
But do learn an instrument, guys. Yeah, guitar is preferable because
Yeah.
it's portable.
I was gonna say that because it's preferably guitar. Because I always wanted to play a guitar, but my mom enrolled me for piano lessons, and then now I realize I can't just go around because you impress a lot of people playing guitar and everything. Just whip it out or carry it around and to show them I'm an instrument player. But I can't carry around a piano with me and then play it. Marijuana.
Nah, bro.
Exactly.
Piano is like, it's a great instrument, bro. Like, it's so nice. So nice. I wish I could play it.
Bro,
No,
আমি গিটার বাজাইতে শিখতে চাইছিলাম, আমার মা বাবা আমাকে হারমোনিয়াম ধরায় দিছে, so
Well, at least you can, haul around a harmonium. You know what I mean?
yo,
can you?
হারমোনিয়াম শুনে মনে হইলো shout out to Omar Farooq sir,
Mm.
who is a legend. Sorry Ishmam, you won't get the reference, but he was Amader
It's
music
fine.
teacher. Um,
He was
who
actually a legend.
he's very good. He's a very good guy. But yeah, sorry, continue with the story.
আমার তো এটুকুই ছিল।
Oh, আচ্ছা, my bad.
হ্যাঁ, আর কি বলবো, গিটার বাজাইতে চেয়েছিলাম, হারমোনিয়াম ধরায় দিচ্ছে, আর তো কিছু বলার নাই। Like if I could say like আদিবের এখান থেকে, like if you have any hobbies, like honestly, like do them now. You think যে পরে ইউনিভার্সিটি গিয়ে মাত্র এক দুইটা ক্লাসেস থাকবে, ও কত আরাম, well not এক দুইটা, তিন চারটা, কত আরাম, but nah, it's not. It's the same amount, if actually more. Like because you have to take care of yourself, you have to do so much stuff. Like picking up new interests is super hard, and you're going to be confronted with all your interests, like university তে যাওয়ার সাথে সাথে, because there's going to be clubs, there's going to be people doing stuff. You're like, এটা তো আমি করতে চাইছিলাম, and then you will realize, like, the finitude of time. Acha, এটা it is like you don't notice it before going to university, but you will definitely notice that before. Other than that, I guess, on the topic of time, like time management is something I wish I had a better grasp of before coming to university. Like just understanding যে আমি দিনে কি করতেছি, কই আমার time যাইতেছে, that's very important, because university again you realize the finitude of time, and you have to sort of মানে manage it perfectly, because পড়াশোনা করা লাগবে. You don't want to just be the person যে সারাদিন পড়াশোনা করে, because you will get burnt out. Like because তোমাকে কেউ খাবার বানায় দিবে না, খাবারটা নিজেই বানাইতে হবে শেষমেশ গিয়ে. So it's insane, like if you can't মানে ration out time for cooking, for having fun, because that's important too. And like all of these things, you just have to sort of learn how to manage your time, pick up some calendar skills, pick up some scheduling skills, um, use a to-do list and stuff like that. uh, এখন is এই এক্সাম্পল আমি আমাদের পডকাস্টে একবার দিছিলাম, বাট হাউ যখন আমাদের ম্যাথস এর কোনো নতুন কনসেপ্ট শিখায়, তখন দে স্টার্ট অফ উইথ সাম রিলি সিলি ম্যাথস, রাইট? লাইক সাইন থেটা বাই কস থেটা হইলো ট্যান থেটা, এটা পড়ানোর পরে 100 বার সাইন থেটা বাই কস থেটা করাইতেছে,
Right.
রাইট? and you're like, এটা কেন করব? But you realize afterwards যে এটা যদি জীবনে না করতা, you would forget it when you're 10 steps in a differential equation and then you finally see sine theta by cos theta,
Right.
right? So like picking up that skill of time management, of like making a to-do list. হয়তো আজকে মাত্র একটা জিনিস আছে যেটা to-do list এ লিখতেছো, কিন্তু when you're like after a year, like if you're in like grade 12, after a year you're going to have so many things in that to-do list. If you don't start writing it now, you won't know how to manage it later. So definitely pick up on some time management skills.
Yeah, I think like
Yeah.
system thinking, like being very on top of everything. I feel like for me, A levels was, pretty easy just because, like Ishmael said, I just nerded out a lot on to-do lists and having these productivity systems that when A level rolled around, I just had a big list of everything. I wanted to mention something that I feel like is very important, not very talked about. And I totally agree with everything Ishmael and Adib had to say about having, developing your hobbies. Yeah, like especially developing your hobbies and becoming a more interesting person is super important. But other thing is like having a toolkit to manage yourself. I have been pretty open with my struggles with mental health on our podcast in Idea Khichuri. And I feel like more and more that's just going to be a big issue, especially if you are, coming to a different country and this is your first time living without your parents. You're going to wake up one day 12 in the afternoon and realize like তোমার মা এসে তোমাকে ডাকবে না, তোমার বাবা এসে তোমাকে ডাকবে না, you're on your own. And just having having a decent sort of understanding of yourself. Like, hey, I have these patterns. Like when I don't do good in an exam, I sort of shut off, and then, I'll like spend 4 days on YouTube doing nothing. Or if my sleep schedule is out of whack, I'll just feel terrible about it, and I'll beat myself over it. And if I'm doing XYZ, I'll talk very negative with myself, and so on and so forth. I think that piece is super important, like the mindset piece, because at university you're gonna show up, and obviously you're gonna see other people who are like really crushing it, and you're like, oh damn, bro, like I just suck, like I'm just pathetic. And you certainly cannot talk like that to yourself at all. And the more you get those reps in before uni, it's just so important just to be like a well-functioning adult, right? At no point should you have to say like, the world is too much for me, everything needs to slow down so that I can catch up, right? Just because no, like the world doesn't care about you really. And the more you can be resilient, but not even resilient, but anti-fragile, like when you are exposed to stress, you get stronger. Like when everyone else is breaking down, that's like an arena that you thrive in. I think that's super important. Like just being, like being on top of your mental health, because honestly, that's where everything else flows from. If you're, sitting at your desk saying like, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, like I don't deserve my place at university, etc., like what do you think you're gonna do in the exam? You're gonna do terrible, right? And it has nothing to do with like time management, nothing to do with your intelligence or anything. It's just like how you talk to yourself. And I think like developing that ability is just key to everything else.
Yeah, I think just to sort of push that point on what Fardeen said, there's this really interesting quote I like. It's the most important words you'll ever hear are the words you say to yourself. And I cannot agree with that anymore because you are always in your head. Like you are the one যার কথা সবসময় শুনতেছো. Like no matter what, সবটার মধ্যেও তুমি নিজের কথা শুনতেছো, জাগনা থাকার সময় নিজে. It's all your own thoughts. So try to keep a positive mindset and don't victimize yourself. If you mess up something, okay, you made a mistake. That's fine. People do that. We're all human. The larger mistake that you could potentially make in that situation is not learning from the mistake. You have to take that and be like, okay, this exam didn't go well. Why didn't it go well? Cool, I procrastinated. Why did I procrastinate? I was afraid of the topic. I didn't like the topic. Whatever. You have to go through yourself to understand why you're not doing some things and why you are, and then break that down and tailor some tools that work for you. Because there's a lot of advice for effective study tips, effective time management tips, effective habit building tips out there in the world. And you'll find a lot of stuff on the internet, but it is all general advice and none of it is universal. You have to try it. You have to understand yourself and try it for yourself. So be self-aware or try to improve your self-awareness. And the earlier you start sort of thinking about these aspects of your life, the better off you're going to be in comparison to anyone. So I think it's super important for your audience specifically, Ahnaf, because you guys are just either finishing high school or getting out of high school, and you have some time now, Dhaka, hoyto, high school shesh korar pore before you go to uni. These are just some things you should really note, because if you go into uni and hit the ground running with these skills, you will be unstoppable. And you need to believe that. And that is what will happen. Yeah.
My parents put a lot of emphasis on moshari tangano. It's a really important life skill. Do you actually? I don't think you actually need that where you guys are, right?
No, we definitely do not, but I think there's a greater lesson to be taken from it. I think what your parents want to instill in you by Moshari Tangano every night is the act of like having a structure. So if মশারি টাঙানো is your way of winding down at night, it's a beautiful thing. Like you should definitely like don't continue মশারি টাঙানো, but like have something else, call it মশারি টাঙানো. Um,
uh,
if you want to, you can. I mean, sure, why not? Like মশারি টাঙাইতে তো আর কিছু আসে যায় না.
Right.
I think
Uh,
it's sorry, Shesh Karishma.
yeah, it's just like having structure in your life is important. Having a bit of chaos in your life, that's also important. Like life is never black and white. It's always gray, and you just have to sort of get used to it.
I think that's very the Moshari Tangano জিনিসটা it's very similar to I don't know if you guys I know Ishmael and Fatima, I don't know Ahnaf if you've heard of him, but there's a guy named Jordan Peterson who
Yep.
talks about first thing you should do in life before you try to do anything in the world is make your own bed and make sure that your local environment is structured and clean. So you can take Moshari Tangano in that aspect, and I can tell you to যদি just Moshari Tangano লাগবে না, probably 9 times out of 10. But just when you wake up in the morning, just make your bed. Yeah, make your bed. Make sure your room is clean. Have a routine for that. And the benefit of that is তুই যখন সকালে বের হস and then you come back at night and then see your room is clean, you're like, damn, I did something today. Like, no matter how crap your day went, you come home, you feel good. Okay, cool, I did something. My room's clean. It's just that this is small things that help you feel good about the day. But yeah.
On মশারি টাঙানো, actually, like আমাদের parents আমাদের অনেক কিছু বলে, that we sort of take the surface level like of, it's like সকাল সকাল উঠবা and stuff like that. Like a lot of these things, technically speaking, don't matter. Like, yeah, here's another one. আমি এটা দিয়ে অনেক memes দেখছি recently যে you can't have fun 2 days in a row. একদিন মজা করছো, পরের দিন মজা করতে
Right.
পারবা না, right?
Classic.
And এটা কিন্তু it's not যে you can't, like obviously you can. It's just the idea যে you can't have it regularly. Like every day যদি খালি মজা করতে থাকো, you won't get stuff done. So I don't want to spoil a meme or some be that guy, but the idea is almost every little bits and bits your parents give you, like chotokato advice, even if it seems completely random, they have like onic wisdom behind it most of the time. Sometimes it won't work for you, the specific advice, but there is something deeper in that you can get from it. Maybe ask them, maybe they don't know because they just heard it from their parents and they're telling it to you, but you can find it out if you want to. You don't even have to do that. You can figure it out on your own as well. But an interesting thing about going to university is that you realize that you're a lot like your parents, and your parents are a lot like you, because you
Well,
come
that's
up with
big facts. That's big facts.
you come up with rules and you're like, oh, look at this, I'm doing good, আমি এগুলা করি, আমি এখন রাত্রে 10টার মধ্যে ঘুমায় যাই, আমি সকালে এই টাইমে উঠি, and then you suddenly realize these are the things your parents have been telling you since birth.
Right.
But you sort of sometimes have to go through that whole journey to realize that. And another thing, it's sort of a tangent, but another thing to understand is like your parents are also like human, just like you. They sort of have this whole thing, like how the hell do you make a kid grow up? I don't know.
Right.
Like I wouldn't know how to deal with Adib, on his best days.
Bro,
On his
this
best days,
man
right?
came at him.
So
Oh my
it's like
god.
it's it's difficult things to do, and your parents do it on a regular basis. So yeah, মশারি টাঙাইতে থাকো, make them happy.
Right. Another thing is they've always told us they're always worried about the weather uh, in different countries, right? তুমি ক্যানাডায় যাবে, ওখানে তো অনেক ঠান্ডা, বরফ পড়ে, তুমি মরে যাবে, কেমনে থাকবো? Stuff like that. So how difficult or how different is it adjusting to weather wherever you guys are?
Bro,
Not
আমি
difficult
তোকে
at all. I'm just gonna like this is a short conversation. Adib, go ahead. Adib, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's just cute. Your parents thinking about you. That's just cute shit. Parents. The thing is, man, you have to realize. I'm sorry, I keep swearing. It's
That's
very
right.
unintentional.
I didn't even
It's the thing.
notice.
It's the thing that your parents will worry about every single thing because they are so used to you being there and you being under their wing, where they can look at everything, like, say they've got a bird's eye view and they can look at the uncertainties that are coming your way and they can prepare you for it and they can make sure you don't have to deal with them. But তুমি যখন বিদেশে থাকো, it is all you. Um, you everything from paying rent to doing your laundry to whatever. It's all you. If you break your leg, you're the one that has to go deal with it and go to a hospital. And your parents worry about that stuff. They don't want you getting a fever. And then I don't like doing video call with my mom anymore because every time I call her, she just tells me I've lost weight and I should eat more. Like, it's every single time. Like, so
I'm
they just
gonna
love
start
you.
doing that to you.
They love you and they worry about you. And I think right now it might seem annoying, but when you get there, you'll love the fact that you have unconditional love in your life. A lot of people don't have that, and it's nice. So listen to your parents. Not, I don't mean blind listening. I just mean, the thing is, in general, your parents want they want
What's
the best
best for you?
They want what's best for you. Thank you, Ishmael. They want what's best for you, and they might not be doing all this research that you might be doing, and they might not be saying everything correctly, but they're trying based on what they know. You should appreciate that, be grateful for it. If you want to do it or not, that's a different aspect of it. But just appreciate the fact that there are humans as well who've gone through this journey of life, and they have accumulated a decent amount of wisdom and experience because they're the people that raised you. Keep yourself grounded. Try to. It's very hard. I struggle with it a lot. I go spans of time where I forget to call my family back home, and it's normal. But just keep it in check. Just try to keep grounded. Because like basically, some dudes can just fly. Yeah, you fly cool enough, but like, you don't want to burn your wings. You don't want to burn your RASC wings and fall back to the ground. So just remember that your family back home is there. Listen to them, speak to them regularly, and keep things real.
Another thing on
It's like an
that
advice
note,
giving day, man.
yeah. First of all, like with the thanda, it's really easy to get used to. I have had one or two friends that have struggled with it. Like, I won't say it's like completely কারো জীবনও হবে না, হইতে পারে, like, you might be, but hopefully parents don't watch it and it's like এর জন্য যাইতে পারবা না. It's not
this
that big of a
2-second
deal.
clip.
It's not that big of a deal, right? Like getting used to the ঠান্ডা, even if you have a really bad অবস্থা যে ও আমি গরমেই থাকতে চাই, you can figure it out. Like, it's fine. Like, there are bigger problems in life. I don't know if you asked it as a meme, but that's like what I gotta
Isma,
say.
bro, legit. You live in a very cold place.
I
but
live in
close to minus.
Vancouver. I live in Vancouver. এখানে ঠান্ডা হয় না. I live
My
near
bad,
the
my bad,
beach, বলতে গেলে.
my bad. Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Bro, I live in
So,
I live in Chicago.
lives-
Chicago's very cold, and I'm gonna tell you, bro, it's not that
yo,
crazy.
wear some layers, man. Like, it's
Yeah.
wear
Nah,
some
plus
jackets.
also
করা
like,
যায়।
তোমরা তো রাস্তায় থাকবা না, তাই না? তোমরা তো রুমের ভিতরেই থাকবা। আজব।
রুমে
And
হিটিং
সব
আছে।
রুমে তো হিটার থাকে। I don't understand why people don't get
এসি
this fact.
থাকবে
Like,
না, কিন্তু হিটার থাকবে। আচ্ছা, which is really sad in summer, because সামারে মরে যাবা গরমে। That's the bigger issue here.
that's the bigger issue. You need a fan, bro.
Yeah,
They don't tell you that.
Buy a fan. Winter Java, most probably, it's going to be near winter time, unless you're going to Australia. But তখন I think you're going near about winter time. I'm not sure.
Australia is flipped though, isn't it?
It's flipped. But I think when you go there, you go there 4 মাস পরে, so you're still going there similar time. So তখন গিয়ে মনে হবে না ফ্যান লাগবে, but get a fan for summer, okay? First মনে হবে লাগবে না, এত ঠান্ডা, এত আরাম, সব ভালো, but না, ফ্যানটা লাগবে. You remember that, okay? This is the most important advice. Fan লাগবে.
Get a fan.
তুমি মশারি টাঙাও না টাঙাও, ফ্যানটা
কিনবা।
That's right.
আরেকটা জিনিস that I wanted to sort of say was having open conversations with your parents is a great thing to do. It might be difficult because of two things. One is your parents don't see you as a grown-up yet. which might be the case, but they're slowly gonna like that's slowly gonna dissolve as you sort of try to
Definitely.
break it and they try to break it. It's gonna come up at a point যেখানে you're just talking to them like you're talking to a friend. আচ্ছা, so having open conversations is important. হ্যাঁ হয়তো কয়েকটা জিনিস একটু লুকাছিপা রাখতে হবে, when you have a relationship on the side, and stuff like that. But be open with them, right? Generally. And আরেকটা জিনিস হলো, here's an interesting anecdote. আমার মা আমাকে আজকে ফোন দেওয়ার পরে মা আমাকে বলতেছিল I'm supposed to move in a week, and আমি যখন মুভ করব from my পুরান বাসা to নতুন বাসা, you know what she was concerned about? She was concerned about আমি খাবো কেমনে। She's like, গ্রোসারি করবা কিন্তু গ্রোসারি করতে ভুলবা না। তারপরে খাবার অর্ডার দিতে হলে ফার্স্ট 2 দিন অর্ডার দিয়ে দিও, তাহলে অর্ডার করতে খাবার চিন্তা থাকবে না, মুভ করে ফেলবা। এন্ড দেন গ্রোসারি শপে যাবা, গ্রোসারি শপে গিয়ে জিনিসপত্র কিনবা। এন্ড I was honestly a bit pissed. Kintu, like, looking back on it, right? Like, when I think back on it, like, it's so nice, like having someone who actually cares about you that much. They're like thinking about you a week in advance, not even caring about anything that's going on in their life at that point. They just care about তুমি এক সপ্তাহ পরে কি করে খাবা। হ্যাঁ, even though like you most probably have it figured out, but they care about it, which is nice. And এখন it
That's
might
really
feel like, ও বাপ মা সবকিছু দেখতেছে and এত এত কেন প্যারা দেয়, but it gets better and
I
it
think
gets more fun.
as soon as you start like treating your parents as, I don't want to say friend because I don't really like that terminology,
I
but
don't think
like
parents can be friends. Sorry,
right,
ma
right.
baba.
Yeah, I think they have a very special place in your life, and as soon as you start talking to them, like, if you're making important decisions, like whatever it is, if you're living alone, you're making a lot of important decisions on a daily basis. Just call them up, be like, hey, this is how I'm thinking through things. Like, what do you think? Right? আমার অনেক ফ্রেন্ডরা হচ্ছে like ওদের parents ওদের সাথে like some ধরনের ভেজাল করছে, and I'm obviously on my friend's side because when they tell me the story it makes complete sense, right? But আমি মাঝের মধ্যে আমার মাকে ফোন করে বলি যে আচ্ছা দেখো আমার এই ফ্রেন্ড আছে, ও এটা করতে চাইছে, and then ওর বাবা বলছে এটা, like how do you see this situation, and you get a new perspective on things. And I feel like they are actually much older than you are, and they have a lot of interesting life perspectives that they can share, which is pretty fun. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, most important thing I'm going to take away from that is that you got to wear layers if you're in a really cold place.
That's facts,
Because
bro.
I'll tell you why, right? Because I found this out the hard way, which is I was in New York, I think, a year or two ago, and it was right around Christmas, and I think it was like -10 or -20 degrees Celsius, and I had just bought my first pair of ripped jeans, right? So
I love
I
where
like
this
that
story
little
is
touch.
going.
I like it.
I love it.
so my parents they made everyone wear one or two inners, layers, just layer on top of layer, right? And we just arrived in New York. We were in the car the whole time, so I didn't really wear inners, and the car had heaters, obviously. So it was well heated. I really couldn't tell how cold it was. And there was a little bit of snow as well. So we got to our destination, which was my nanu's house, and my parents decided to stay over there for the night because it was already, I think, 11 p.m. But I arrived in New York. I want to go out and look at everything, because it's a busy city, Rathrbala, Times Square and everything. So I was with my mama, and I told him, let's go out, let's look at the city, and we'll stay over at your place. So my mom said, "It's fine, go ahead." We went out, and I'm wearing ripped jeans. I haven't changed, so no inners, no nothing. But on top, I have like 5 or 6 layers, along with my jackets and everything. It felt fine throughout the whole car ride. It had heaters everywhere. And then we get to Times Square, and as soon as I open the door, I swear, uh, I lost feeling in all of my legs. I couldn't feel my legs because the ripped jeans, it had holes everywhere, right? And then the air was just going up, and I felt numb for the next 30 minutes that we were there. I just tried to, use my reflex and muscle memory to walk and everything because I couldn't feel anything down there. So yeah, you gotta wear inners, especially if you're going to really cold place.
Or maybe you don't wear ripped jeans.
I would go with the yes.
Also, here's another thing to keep in mind. Keep the layers consistent, right? Like don't have একটা জায়গায় 5 layer, একটা জায়গায় 2 layer and stuff like that. Have like consistent amount of layers, because I think এটা podcast শুরু হওয়ার আগে বলতেছিলাম, but ঠান্ডা বেশি লাগে when you have a difference in temperature in your body rather than when you have like directly অনেক বেশি ঠান্ডা. Obviously, like একটা baseline amount থাকা লাগবে depending on কোথায় আসো. Like if you're in Alberta, people have -40. Like obviously তখন তুমি মুখ টুক না ঢেকে এক লেয়ার পরে বার হয়ে যাবা, হবে না। তখন 2-3টা লেয়ারই পরা লাগবে, বা 2-3টা লেয়ার উপরে নিচে সব জায়গায়। when you have the differential, তখন like উপরটা ওয়ার্ম থাকবে, নিচটা পুরো বরফ হয়ে যাবে, that's when you're gonna feel bad. এটা ইভেন বাংলাদেশে থাকলে নোটিস করতে পারবা, যখন শীত পড়ে তখন if you don't wear a sweater or anything, just একটা টি-শার্ট একটা প্যান্ট পরে বার হয়ে যাবা, একটু ঠান্ডা লাগবে for about 1 minute, এরপরে you'll be fine, you'll notice যে it's normal. কিন্তু if you wear a sweater and a jacket আর তারপরে বার হও, আর পায়ে খালি শর্টস পরে থাকো, পা একটু পরে দেখবা যে মানে ঠান্ডায় মানে শেষ হয়ে যেতেছে. You'll feel the same as if you're in Alberta at -40.
That's the science. Love it.
That is science.
Anecdotal, by the way. Research paper এখনো লেখা হয়নি.
Right.
Hey guys, sorry for the interruption, but the next part of the question was a little bit glitchy. There were some technical difficulties, so I'm here to tell you what the question was. The question was, school life isn't all fun and it isn't all boring either. So what would you have in terms of encouraging pieces of advice or words of wisdom for the students in the school right now, or students who are looking to join Sir John Wilson in the near future?
Say that.
I don't vibe with that, bro.
Bro, this is gonna be like a long tangent, and Ahnaf, like this is your podcast, so tell us like how much you want
Ahnaf,
us
this
to go into
conversation can go on for a very long time.
Yeah, I think
Letting you know.
I think we'll have this. We'll have an extended version of this in our next meeting with you guys, because we're gonna come back in the future for sure. But for now, I see now that this is a long conversation.
I have to wrap it up. I just quickly want to say something that my criticism aside, I feel like Sir John Wilson, more than a lot of other institutions, I have seen like I honestly think, and I know this because I felt it, people in English medium schools don't realize the blessing they are sitting on a day-to-day basis. আমি ঢাকা ইউনিভার্সিটিতে পড়ছি. I went there for 5 months. Y'all don't know like what the other side looks like. And like this is not me saying like, oh, English medium is better. Nah. I'm just saying that we do a lot of things better যেটা কিনা বাংলা মিডিয়ামে করা হয় না, because Sir John Wilson is a private institution. We have more funding and more passionate people running this than say Bangla medium schools. And I think yes, the system has a lot of flaws, not designed nice, but in 11th grade আমি ফারহানা মিসকিকে বলছি যে I was participating in this Olympiad যেটার একটা practical component আছে, and I wanted unfettered access to the labs, and you know what, she gave it to me. And that's not an exception. I feel like Sir John Wilson is very supportive of their students, and it like very deeply they want the students to succeed. And I feel like a lot of like people like Farnham Miss, people like Pikasha Miss, Sabrina Miss, they know that, the school isn't doing as much as they can because, let's be honest, like on the resources, it's like, we have a lot of problems that we're dealing with. But if you take the initiative, if you're like, hey, I want access to the entirety of the football field after school because আমি rocket rocket jet experiment করতে চাই, as long as it's safe, as long as it's not, harming anything, they're going to be more than down, right? And
Yeah.
I feel like people should take that advantage because তুমি যদি একটা বাংলা মিডিয়ামে থাকতো, number one, you can walk into Farnham Mrs. office and she's gonna actually listen to you. I mean, 99% of people studying in Malawi medium schools are not able to do that. And that's a huge blessing. And if you don't take advantage of that, that's on you. Like, you really have to like take advantage of it and then, come with your criticisms.
Right.
I think on my aspect, to sum it up, like I said before, starting my whole rant, I still love Sir John Wilson. I met some of my closest friends there, people I still talk to. The teaching staff, some of them, they were incredible and onek nice মানুষজন, like genuinely nice মানুষজন, who এখনো আমি ঢাকা গেলে I go back to Sir John just to see how the school's doing and just to meet whoever's left. And it was an integral part of my childhood. I mean, childhood ছাড়বো না. Despite all I said, there are obviously places you can improve everywhere. And Ishmael did have a very good point. A reason the system is that way is because there's a lot of external pressure from the parents, and sometimes teachers are just sort of constrained by that, and it happens. It's normal. Amader Bangladesh, everyone is obsessed with marks. That is a reality, and that might be the way. That might be the reason why it is. But I'm glad to hear John Fardin's end. He was able to get something off the ground through the school of support. So to sort of top it off, I just say that with the way things are now, if you're at Sir John and you want to get something started, basically, if you've listened this far to the episode, all we've been talking about is just starting things and doing things and getting on with and making decisions. So if you want to start a club, start a club. I think starting a club is the best way to sort of get people more interested in learning and doing research and stuff like that. Start a club, be a captain of a football team, play table tennis, and like, oh yeah, this is a special shout out to Pikachu Miss and Farhana Miss, because আমি even though enrolled ছিলাম না in A-level classes, আমি দেন নাকি 2 মাস ধরে যে ইউনিফর্ম পরে যে প্রত্যেকদিন স্কুলে সারাদিন বসে টেবিল টেনিস খেলতাম, এটা I think আমার one of the most fond memories of Sir John Wilson. So Sir John Wilson, the reason I love it, Kobi bhai, it's just the people are amazing. So আমরা যাই বলি না কেন, it was one of the better, it's probably one of the best schools you can have in Dhaka, just because of the people. They genuinely love you. They genuinely care about you. If you walk through the schools, you'll see teachers who've seen you grow up and they genuinely remember your name down the line and they'll ask you how you're doing. And oishab jinish, man, তুমি যে জায়গায় যাও না কেন, there's some sort of lacking. So those are the things that really matter. I'd say the human connection. So yeah.
আমার তো কোনো সার্জন স্পেসিফিক কি বলবো memories নাই, other than the people I've met there, and the people I've met there have been amazing. On that note, Scholastica Jos too.
Love that.
Yeah, gotta give a shout out to my school. But yeah, I think I just want to finish with Adib jeta bolchilo. If you want to do something, just go out and do it. And I think it doesn't matter if you're studying in Sir John Wilson. I think Scholastica, they would give you the support, and that's not my point. My point is, regardless of where you are, what you're doing, like at some point, if you want to do something, if you want to see something happen, you just got to do it yourself. And এটা একটা interesting ছিল. I think Smarter Every Day, there's a channel. He was like, they were waiting on their town, the little small town, on a supply of masks and protective gear, and that was just not coming. And he was like, man, I only if someone did something about it. And then at some point he said, and this really resonated me when he said it. He said, at one point I realized that no one is coming. It's all up to us, right? And that's how it is almost every single time. Like it's all up to you, man. If you want to see a change in life, you have to be the one to make it. You want to see a debate club in your school, start the debate club. I don't know, I'm just focusing on stuff like that. If you want to see something, you just got to go do it. Like no one's gonna come and do it for you.
Pretty much.
Oh, that was great. We rounded it off with some really inspirational, heartwarming stuff there. If you've watched this far, to all the viewers, subscribe again. Like if you haven't already, I'm going to leave their description and their podcast links down below as well. If you want to look at that, thank you for coming and spending your time with us, all of you, Fardin, Ishmael, and Natif. Yeah, yeah, that's it, I guess. So we'll have them back for sure. But for now, that's going to be it. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Anna, for having us.
Thank you, Anna, for having us. It was a pleasure having Tiffin with you.
Yeah, love the conversation.
All right.
It was dope.